Welcome to the Live, Laugh, and Hustle podcast. Join co-hosts Nimra and Sabashi as they celebrate the vibrant lives and inspiring journeys of women. Nimra and Sabashi bring you candid conversations with women from all walks of life. From laughter-filled moments to everyday hustle, they provide uplifting stories, practical advice, and empowering discussions. Let's live life to the fullest, laugh often, and hustle with heart. Hi, welcome to the second episode of the podcast. Sabah, would you like to do the intros? We have a special guest today.
Yes. So today we have a special guest joining our show. So she's a passionate writer and a dedicated member of uh, remote pro virtual assistant team. And for the past 1.5 years, she's been dedicated to creative writing with kids program, combining her love and writing and working with children. Also, not to forget, Nimra, she's a proud single mom for a 8-year-old, which is fascinating. So, with a degree in BIT from Colombo University, she has extensive remote working experience over years with various international companies. So, Natasha, please welcome to the Live, Laugh, and Hustle show. And not to forget, today is very special because this is our first episode with a guest, and also she's the first member who joined our remote pro virtual assistant team as well. So it's
Really?
going to be a great start.
Wow, it's
Yes,
Thank
it
you for
is.
having me, Subhashi.
it's
Thank you
amazing to
so
have
much
you.
for joining us today. It
And thank
is,
you
it
for,
is.
yeah.
Yes.
I
Over
was
to you,
talking to
Nimra.
her. Sorry, I was just talking to her before, and I asked her, like, are you usually a morning person? Because we're doing this on a Saturday at like 8:30 to 9, and it's a bit early for all of us, but I guess we have to get it done, and this is the only free time we all have. So I'll just get right into the questions that we sort of had for you. Like, what's the craziest or toughest thing about juggling work and being like a mom, a single mom? Like, you've always
Well, yeah, I guess whether you're a working mom or a stay-at-home mom, single mom, or even a mom with a lot of family and support, I guess the biggest challenge always comes down to how we face managing the constant juggle between work, whether it's office work, whether it's home work, and being there for the kids. Because no matter who is there, the demand for the mom is never ending. So from the moment he was born, it's been kind of a balancing act of providing for him while also making sure I'm present in his life. Because as a son, he's a real mama's boy. And working remotely, at that time, I was working for a Canadian company. So that adds another layer because the boundaries between the work and home life often blurs. Because it's not like you go to office and sign off and come home. So there were days when it feels like I'm being pulled in a million directions, trying to meet deadlines while also making sure my son gets the attention he needs. And yes, there have been times when the pressure and stress got to me and I really lost my temper with him. But yeah, I'm grateful for this opportunity from having so many opportunities to work from home and provide for him. And yeah, it's been a wonderful experience and I'm always grateful for having this time with him.
Yeah, that's
that's
amazing to
amazing.
hear. So we all have gone through that, at least one day we had that time in our life, right, Nimra?
Yeah.
That pressure that we should give the attention to children and we should, finish the work as well. I mean, it's a blessing in one hand, but still sometimes we get into too much things when we work remotely. So
There's a
it's
lot of
amazing the how
distraction. A lot
exactly,
of
Exactly.
exactly.
distractions. Yeah. It's tough for a lot of moms and I suppose dads as well. But once you adapt to that and you find, your comfort zone and how you can manage your projects, I guess it sort of works out in the end. It does take a while though. I mean, at first you're not going to like what you're doing and you're going to question, like, why am I doing this? I might as well just go to an office, right? Like there's at least some sort of peace and comfort there. But no, you get used to it. It does take a while, but yeah, you get used to it.
Exactly. So, Natasha, has working from home changed the way you parent your kids? Like how did it change?
Yes, I believe. I mean, I did work for 2 years physical firms before I got married as well. So I was working for FPA and then for the Vision Fund Lanka, the financing arm of World Vision. So I guess I made the decision to move full time. I mean, even at that time, I was part time already working for my Equa, the Canadian company, as a writer. So I was like weighing the positives and the negatives, and I decided, okay, the time that I spent traveling on the road and, the hassle and, so the tiredness. I made a decision to move. And working remotely has actually given me more opportunities to connect with my son. So I have the flexibility to manage my schedule, which makes it possible for me to really listen to him, be present, attend to his activities. I mean, every time I go to one of his concerts, when he climbs on the stage, I can see his eyes are first, trying to find me in the audience. But those things really matter to the kids, right? So being there is really important. So I think that's the best thing about working remotely. So I always make it a point to be there for him. I mean, I can do my work anytime, even after he sleeps or get up in the morning. But the time he comes home, the time he has activities, going to classes with him, it's amazing how much they actually value it.
Being present, right? Like being present in his life.
Exactly.
He understands that what you're doing is valuable and that how he can adapt to that as well. So it's important to be there. I totally agree with that. So I have another question, like how do you have any hacks, like how to keep running things smoothly? I was going to swear for a bit that how to keep running things smoothly.
Yeah,
Like,
I wish I can show you my the desktop because it's actually a calendar. So I have made a calendar on Excel. Like each activity has color coded it. Okay, these are the online classes. These are the physical classes. These are the times in school. And so at a glance, I know okay where he is, what time. So around that, the schedulers. So basically, yes, the schedulers, the planners, the Google Calendar. It's like my lifesaver.
yeah.
So I specifically block off the times when my kid has classes, so the clients book meetings, on the other times. So yeah, that helps me to keep track of my work and my son's activities because he's quite a busy kid for 8 years, so he has a lot of things going on. So yeah, I guess I can't imagine a life without a schedule. So my sister has 3 kids. I have only one. And yeah, keeping track of this one kid's activities and the WhatsApp groups is another totally new world these days. So there's a WhatsApp group for everything. So yeah, keeping organized and time management goes a great deal.
Yeah, I think it will kind of be a great, a good example for him as well. I mean, he'll get used to schedule his life when he grow up as well. So it's kind of a good thing that you do. I mean,
Actually,
I don't know, like,
I have made him a schedule and pasted it on the door. Like, okay, these are the practices you have to do today. These are the homework. So I already have given him kind of a schedule to keep track for himself. So I don't have to constantly remind him, practice your piano, practice your violin, do your homework. No. So he knows, okay, today's Monday. These are the things I'm gonna do. So yeah.
exactly. That's very nice. Nimra, have you ever like imagine yourself being in 8-year-old? Have you ever thought of like, do you even know the word schedule? I mean, I don't know
no,
what I was doing
no, because
when
I
I was
think
8-year-old.
growing up in the 90s when we were kids, I don't know, when I was a 90s kid, I don't know what you guys are so much younger than me. We didn't have any of that shit, right? It was like playtime all the time. Everything
I
was
mean, we
super chill.
played, we slept, we went to classes, we went to school, but
Yeah.
still we had time that we didn't know what to do, right?
I didn't even go for classes. I was just after
Really?
school, I didn't have I didn't go for any classes.
Yeah,
So
I also never went for tuition classes.
yeah,
Even he doesn't go for tuition classes. It's always additional activities.
additional
And
activities.
Activities, right?
Yeah.
yeah, and actually in his ENV studies grade 4, the first lesson is actually about scheduling or something. That is their first
Wow.
lesson, the importance of a timetable. So it's part of their school curriculum also.
No, I think that's important because then they know how to manage their time at a very early age. Because if you're not going to manage your
Exactly.
time as you grow older, you're going to have problems with timing, right? Like you're always going to be late for meetings. I've come across a lot of people who are constantly struggling to manage their time, all because they just didn't adapt to, time
They're just used to
management
being
skills.
idle
Yeah.
and just doing what they're told, kind of. And here, so here
No,
we try to get them to take the initiative themselves.
yeah. But growing up, none of that shit. I didn't have any of that.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah, exactly.
playtime, after school shit,
Yep.
then come
Yeah, my
home.
mom is also like, I don't know. I never did any of this with you.
Yeah, it's so different back then. It was
Yeah.
very relaxed. But this way, with all the competition that's going on with our kids, they have to adapt, right? There's no other way with
Exactly.
the screen time, and then
There's no choice.
they
Yeah.
have to learn. It's tough, but
Because I don't believe in like telling him not to play games or not to watch YouTube because the other kids do it,
yeah,
right? And they talk about those things. And
yeah,
when we go to limit that and say, don't do that, they kind of get left out.
they do.
So this is their life, this is the era, this is this generation. So we have to adapt to it. We have to give them time to do it as well. So that's what I believe.
So I really agree on that point, Natasha. So normally in our house, like we don't watch any, local TV channels or anything. So he goes to government school and the kids talk about the shows that, going on in the TV and the songs and everything. So my one doesn't know anything. He's asking me, okay, what are these things? They are talking about this. He's like, he don't
Yeah,
know. I mean, that's also a problem, as you said. Like they are getting like kind of
yeah,
left out from them because he doesn't know about that.
yeah.
So it's also a problem. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
But too much
So
screen
it's
time
it's
isn't great either. I mean, there are a lot of kids,
Exactly. That is
teens.
it has to
exactly.
be a kind of a particular time that okay, you
Balanced.
can use now, but
Mm,
Hmm.
only this
yeah,
for a limited
Yeah,
time.
like for
Yeah.
my like I said, his scheduler, you do your responsibilities for the day,
Mhm.
finish your homework, pack
yes,
your bag, do your practices, then you get a little TV time. So that's
yeah.
how I planned it out for him. So you kind of earn it. So,
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I have that running system as well. Like, you clean your room, clean the house for a bit. I've sort of trained them to do that as well. You need to
good.
put
Yeah,
sheets to,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, change your
Exactly.
bed sheets once in a while. I can't be doing everything. I'm busy. So then you need to change. You need to change.
Yeah, and actually
So
they
it's
like to
it's
do this kind of houseworks. Like when I get him to carry all the laundry, come to the washing machine. He likes it. He's like, can I put it to dry? Can I put it? So yeah, they like to get involved and feel important. So
My kids don't like to get involved. I have to force them to do it. But even now, like before I had this meeting, I said, okay, you need to put the clothes in the dryer or the washer because I need to make sure it's running. They had like, fight. I can't do it today. It's a
from
holiday.
the
You have to do it.
I think this is amazing, Nimra. I think we should have another episode with her to discuss more about these
Out
things.
scheduling,
I
can you
mean,
create a schedule for my kids?
yeah.
Because maybe you should, you start that as like a part-time thing. I make schedules for kids. I train them how to, manage their
Exactly.
time management for kids. Like have a workshop. This is a business
Really,
idea.
yeah,
Natasha, you
they're
should
not
start
okay.
something
Yeah,
like that.
they are not gonna like it. They are not gonna like it the first day. They are not gonna like it the first
No.
month. But then it becomes a
They'll get
routine.
used to
They
it,
know
right?
that these
Yeah.
are things that needs to get done. So,
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. So, Natasha, one more question. So, how do you keep work and family time from blending into one big mess? Any help?
ah,
Right.
good question. So actually, my child helped me with this. Somehow we have worked out this way of respecting each other. So when he's watching TV and I have to tell him something, he actually takes the remote and pauses what he watches and he looks at me and gives me the attention
Amazing.
without a sign of grumble, without saying, Amma, I can't hear. He does that. Maybe he doesn't want to
Wow.
miss a word of the cartoon, of course, right? But yeah, he gives me that attention. So now, even when I am at a work or even I'm at a class or conducting a class, I feel obliged to do it sometimes, right? Sometimes he understands. I'm in the middle, I give him a sign like this, or he writes down what he wants. He writes me a message, Mama, I have finished this. Can I do this? I'm like, so, like I said, having the scheduler as also helped. So I plan out most of my meetings. I work for a Finland company now, so where I work as a customer success manager, and I have clients from all over the globe. So if it's in Japan or Australian clients, I have meetings in the morning when the kid is at school. If it's Finland clients, that's the time it kind of clashes in the afternoon because that's the peak time my kid has activities. But even that, there are days I have blocked out and the night time for the US clients if I have any meetings, because it's not always. They're not going to have meetings every day. So I have got into that routine and with the Google Calendar, making sure things don't overlap because I understood that I get really stressed and pressurized and shouting at him when I'm disorganized. It's not his fault, right? So, and kids are so resilient, they forgive and forget so quickly, and they connect with us more when we actually apologize to them and explain things to them. Okay, what I did was wrong. I'm sorry. This was what was going on. They understand far more than we give them credit, right? They're actually humans. They may be small, they may be young, but we should respect them as humans and they will respect us back as well. That's what I believe.
That's amazing. I
Exactly.
mean, the
Yeah.
level of
That's
attention that he's
amazing.
been
Yeah.
giving you and having a conversation, that shows so much how he has grown in the past 8 years for him and for you as well. I mean, you're an amazing mother. If he's
Yeah.
learning that, he's learned it from you, right?
I mean,
Yeah,
the
I'm learning a
support
lot from
she
him as
gets
well.
Yeah,
from him also,
Exactly.
like, it's amazing. I can see from her when, she's like very relaxed and, she's very focused on her work and also she's giving attention for her kid as well. I mean, that's really amazing.
awesome.
As like, the things that she does for him and he does for her, like
It
it's
all
going,
comes
it's
down to communication with him. Like even now, yesterday
exactly.
night, I told him, okay, I have this recording in the morning. So he's still asleep. I assume he's still asleep, but I said, if you wake, please don't come into the room. Go to the front, have a banana, have a yogurt. So it all comes down to communication at the end of the day. Now, if he comes barging in now, I can't scold him. It's my fault for not communicating in advance that something like this is going on. So
That's
So, Natasha, I do have one more question. So, you are a single mom and you are still doing everything alone, or do you still get some help from your family or maybe some friends, relations, mom?
well, on the days that I have to go out for some office meetings, sometimes we have these gatherings. Of course, it's great to have my mom around and have her help to look after him at those times when I'm out of the house. But other than those specific things, 100% I manage my own things, whether it's cleaning the house, cooking, because like I said, it all comes down to planning ahead. And I kind of believe in the Canadian method, cook in bulk, keep it. And because it's only me
Yes.
and my kid and my mom. So we manage, we are not very picky people. So once we have that working thing, because my mom will look after him, no problem at all. But what I believe and how she believes in parenting could be two different things.
Exactly.
So my expectations and how he should be brought up, and I can't find fault with that. So if I want to raise my kid in a specific way, then I should give my 100%, or I should be okay with my kid not having it because I seen it with my sister's kids, where my sister had to go out to work, so my mom raised him. So he is a more happy-go-lucky fellow. He's nice and he's good, but he knows grandma will do everything for me. That responsibility has not yet grown in him. So it comes. I mean, it's not wrong. That's how grandmothers raise them, of course.
Mhm.
So they want to give everything, they want to do everything for the kid. But at the end of the day, this is what I prefer. I want to be there. And it's really not stressful now. When he was smaller, yes, when I had to bathe him, I had to brush his teeth, then yes. Now he's 8. He manages most of his things. He's quite understanding. When I'm carrying something heavy, he jumps and comes to help me. So he has come to that level to help and to understand. Even when he wants something, he always says, if it's expensive, Mama, it's okay. We can get it later. So even recently, I had to laminate one of his piano pieces for his festival. So this is the first time he's seeing something laminated, and he's asking, "Amma, is it expensive to laminate?" I was like, "No, tell me why." It's like, "No, I like to have some of my pictures laminated so it won't tear or it won't get wet. But it's okay if it's too expensive. I don't want it done." So he has learned that way of requesting, asking help. Right? So he's not a pushy. He's quite a, what can I say? From birth, he was not a difficult child. So God has blessed me with one of those kids. Like he was not a kid to go and put his finger in the electric sockets or jump up or things like that. So for me, it was kind of an easy kid. So I know kids are not the same. The parenting methods are not the same. And what worked for me may not be what works for the other parents. So that's all true because I have seen it. Kids of his age. I don't think I can handle another kid the way I handle him. So every
Yeah.
kid is different and what works for each parent is also different.
I actually have
That's
another
amazing.
question. I know we're just you're spitballing questions at you the whole time. Is there, sorry about that. But is there like anything that you would go back and do differently with your busy schedule?
Maybe I would have joined work at this Finland company a bit earlier because Finland, they're all about this work-life balance and the earlier place I worked was quite crazy, the schedule and everything. But yeah, I think everything worked out for the good. Working at that high peak company actually kind of helps me now to realize how more blessed I am. So maybe the switch happened at the correct time. There are a lot of things going on in my family, of course. But yeah, I guess there's a reason for everything. So I don't think I want to change anything because at the end result and the path that I'm going in, like I always tell him, I don't even mind if you become a CMC worker. I want you to be a gentleman, be kind, be nice to people. That's my main goal for you. So I think, yeah, that's what's important for me. Like I said, each parent and their requirements are different. But after what I've been through, and me he being a boy, my first priority is always that he should know how to be kind and how to respect people. So yeah.
Great. That's amazing.
Exactly. That's amazing. Nimra, do you have boys? No, right?
No, I have I have two daughters.
Boys' story is a different thing.
Very different.
I was listening to her because I wanted to learn things from her. If there's anything that
From
I'm
your
doing
notes.
wrong, I need to change. Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
quietly listening to her because I wanted to learn from her. It's
But
kind
the
of a different
simple
level.
rule, I mean, like I said, my ex, he was a perfectionist. So my kid can't touch the wall, touch a glass, spill anything, he'll burst.
No,
A
no.
simple rule I follow is there's no point crying over spilled milk. They're kids. They will spill, they will break, they will dirty things, they'll touch walls. Just because you lose your temper, are you gonna get it back to the way it was? So yes, if you want things nice and beautiful, maybe wait till they come to a certain age to do it. Or else, teach them. If they spill something, I get him involved to clean it, wipe it up, tell him about the value of it and things like that.
Yeah.
They also kind of feel bad that they themselves they will change. Because I think one of my sister's kids actually, he dropped my laptop, my laptop.
Oh my gosh.
So I could have burst, but I mean, so small things I do scold them as well. But okay, it's done. I just told him, please go down. So I knew if I was there, I might scold him. I said, please go down. Right, I let things settle, let things calm, open the laptop. Okay, it's fine. Just the screen was a little at the back, but that went a long way. He After that, he's quite careful with things. He's not scared of me, but he's quite careful. And I told him, if you spill something, break something, come and tell me then and there. Then I don't have to get angry and we can fix it together. So yeah, it goes a long way. So that's what works for me actually.
That might work for a lot of people actually. Listening to this conversation, they're gonna start taking notes. So, but do you have any like parting questions?
I mean, no, we just asked so many questions from her. She's amazing.
She's
The way she
amazing.
works, the way she managed her life and her work is amazing. To be honest, I'm very glad that we invited her for our first episode.
Yeah.
So it's kind of amazing, Natasha. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so glad to have you in my team as well. She
Thank you so
supports,
much.
like, me in anytime whatever I ask from her, she's like, okay. She never says no. She has not said like, no for me all this time. Like she's like, okay, okay, okay. I was thinking how she does this work without saying no, no, I have this meeting, no, I have this work, this and that. She never says like that. So I mean,
Patience and
she's
resilience.
truly amazing.
She
Yeah,
is. I've just learned so much from you from this conversation. We should sort of invite her for
exactly.
like a second session,
Exactly.
to sort
Definitely
of
we should.
do a workshop on how to do shit because there's still a lot of things that we would like to ask you, but we're running out of
Yeah,
time. So like definitely a second session, like to just with a
exactly.
different set of
Exactly.
questions related to how you manage your work. We didn't even touch that point yet. We were just going on the topics of family, but there's still a lot of time management skills that we'd like to learn from you. I love to learn new things from a lot of people. So I'm just listening and observing how they work. That's the best way to learn from me. You can go and get your degrees,
Exactly.
but then if you don't really, work with these individuals, there's
Mm.
just very little knowledge that you're going to get. So it was very insightful for me. So thanks for that.
All right, then is there anything else that we can discuss? So, Nimra?
Um, any other parting thoughts for me? It's like she was very insightful for me. So I learned quite a bit about time management, how to work on a schedule with my kids, which I should be doing.
Mainly the thing that I
Yeah.
was learning, I
Yeah.
learned was that thing, the schedule with the kid. I mean,
And
that's
Yeah,
amazing part. Yeah.
if I can add one last parting note is think of them as little humans. Like imagine you are in the middle of a show and you had to do something or someone calls you. Would you like just, off it and go? Or if you're reading something, would you just close it and go? You might, want to come to the end of the chapter or see what's happening to the end, right? So why do you expect them to, immediately off the cartoon and go to bed? For them, that's important. That's something that they're doing, that they want to see what's going on. So I usually give them a time. Okay, finish this cartoon and come. Or take 10 minutes and finish this and come and do this.
Yeah.
So I kind of believe that really works. So give them respect as humans. Think of yourself in their feet. So then
Yeah.
it'll all kind of, goes
Empathy also, no?
Yeah.
Understanding how they're, yeah, that's
exactly.
pretty good. Yeah, we should adapt to that. Usually it's always about bullying them into doing things that,
Exactly. Yeah.
that we just want to get done. But I'm not saying that's what I do, but I don't know if I even do it anymore. When they were
Yeah.
very
But
much
sometimes
young.
we expect like, to them to do things as soon as we tell them, right? I mean,
Exactly.
Yes,
Exactly.
we
sometimes
do.
I do that as well, like,
Immediate response is
just
required.
happens.
That's
Yeah.
because of the way we've been working as well, don't you think? Like sometimes immediate response is required when you're at work. They're like, they send you an email and they'll
Exactly. We are so
expect
pressurized.
you
We are
to be
like running like
pressurized.
a rat race. We expect them also to do that.
Do it same, exactly.
Maybe that's why we are conditioned to think that immediate response is something that we all need, which needs to be revised. Yeah, that's something to look into. That's another
Natasha,
party
before we
thought.
go,
Yeah.
one more question that I have. Has ever your son has, expressed that when you're working, I know your attention will be in the work, right? Like think of the time that he's at home for his
Mhm.
school holidays. So has he ever left alone? I mean, he has, expressed that he's alone. He has felt alone when you're working.
Yes. So I'm blessed to live with my sisters. So we live in three separate floors. So his cousins are
Okay.
always there to play with him. But yes, during school holidays, there are times he comes and says, not that he's alone, I am bored. Mom, I am bored.
I'm bored.
Oh,
Right?
bored.
So
Yeah.
yes. So yeah, so I read somewhere saying being bored is good. So I don't go to make up things for him. I don't tell him what to do. I mean, look around. You have a lot of things. You have your books, you have your Legos, you have so many things. Art, paint, everything is there for you, right? You have your freedom. So I let, yeah, 2, 3 times he might come saying, bored, he'll wanna hug me and everything. But then he kind of gets his own activity to do. He kind of works it out on himself. And like you said, school holidays time, I also try to manage my schedule to spend time with him. And especially, no matter how much I spend time with him throughout the day, that night time, when he goes to bed, he always asks, Mom, come and hug me. Come and be with me. Right? So there are days when I say, no, I have to finish this. And then I realize, like, come on, it won't take 5 minutes to hug and he'll fall asleep and I can get back to work. Right?
Yeah.
So that kind of a little adjustment. And like yesterday, I think I didn't have any night time, any work at night. I was just sitting with him in the middle and I told him to go and sleep. Okay, you don't have any work either. Come with me to bed. So it's those little times, the first few minutes in the morning, the first last few minutes of the day, that really, they really want that picture. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
Yeah, that
The
that
things.
5 minutes, just come for a 5 minutes thing I always hear. 5 minutes,
Yeah,
just for 5 minutes,
They
please.
just want to hold your hand, It's so cute.
exactly.
Yeah,
Little time that we
I
have
mean
with them.
it's
They're gonna grow up so fast.
Exactly.
yeah.
Yes.
I mean that's amazing. That's amazing. Like being moms and we are doing all these things, the work, the family, we are trying to,
We're
do
trying our
whatever the
best.
best that I mean, aren't we amazing? All the moms. All
All
the
Yeah,
moms,
moms are
yeah.
working.
exactly.
Yeah. I mean,
All super
all of them
moms.
are amazing. Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
We're just labeling. We're all super moms. Amazing
So,
stuff.
Nimra, I wanted to get that point. Remember that I shared with you something to, work remotely. You should get a separate place without
Yes.
family that you can consider. Remember,
Some
I
dude
shared,
shared that, right?
Natasha?
That
Yeah.
wasn't even a meme. It was like a conversation
It's
this man
kind
was
of a
having.
advice that a person giving to a group how they can improve their focus when they're working remotely to get a separate place from the family, to go to a place where they can stay alone so that they can focus on the work. I mean, I shared it immediately with Nimra and I asked, what are we doing?
You should share that meme, I mean, that conversation here so everyone else can see it, because I completely disagree with that. That man is an
Yeah.
absolute fool because
It will work for men. Exactly. It will work for men.
yeah, men are usually not cut
Yeah.
out for remote work. There's like slightest thing they get distracted. You can't walk fast,
Exactly.
and therefore
They're not multitaskers.
they
Yeah,
can't
exactly.
multitask. There's no way they're going to breastfeed and type an article at the same time, because they wouldn't know how to do
Exactly.
either. So then again, not generalizing all men. There might be some men who are actually good at it.
Exactly.
Majority
Exactly.
are
Yes. Yeah.
not. They talk to you about sports, but then what can you learn? Maybe.
That's a good point you
Yeah.
made. Like when my kid was about 6, 8 months, he'll be in the playpen and I'll be working. What I'll do is I'll read out the emails to him. So he feels like I'm talking with him, but actually I'm getting my work done. So, I'll just read it
That's
out loud.
amazing.
So much of things that we
That's really
can
nice.
juggle at
That's
the
really
same
nice.
time. And reading that thing that you sent to read sort of pissed me off. What is wrong with this man? What an idiot. If he's going to listen to this, he's going to feel ashamed, because we're so totally unpacking what he was trying to say. But then I guess multiple men might be thinking the same thing. That's a discussion for another episode.
Yeah, because working remotely is not for everyone.
It's not for
Not
Some
for
people
everyone.
are,
I
it's
agree.
not for everyone. Yes.
Not everyone can like work from remote. Like I believe in that as well, Nimra. Remember, I was telling in our first episode as well, working remotely is not for everyone.
Yeah, it's a
It
skill.
has to be kind of dedication, just they should have the mindset, the ability to manage the work and the household work and all those distractions that we get. I mean, it's kind of a different level that we need to, it's not easy. It's not. People, like most of the people see is like, oh, you're working remote, you're working from home. No, it's so easy. It is not easy.
Amazing.
It's not
It's the
easy. I
hardest thing to
mean,
do.
yeah,
It's a lot harder than going to
it's
work.
the hardest thing. Exactly. All right then. So
This
anything
comes to
else?
sort of the end of the episode, I guess. I guess we'll probably have another conversation with you in a couple of
Definitely we
months.
should.
Yeah, we should
Definitely we
have a
should.
session,
Yes.
pick another topic and then just go through it.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
we were so glad and we are so proud that you joined our show today. And thank you so much. We learned so many things, and I hope the viewers and the listeners will think the same way. They'll learn so much from whatever you have, whatever we have discussed today. So yeah, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you
And
so much, Subhash. Thank you, Nimra.
All
thanks, and
right.
have a great weekend, because we're heading in. Yeah.
Yes, it's just the
You
beginning.
too. Yes.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you for tuning into the Live, Laugh, and Hustle podcast. Stay tuned for more incredible stories of resilience, strength, and success. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, and share our podcast with your friends.